start out by listening to a planet song that I found. And it's just, it goes over the planets a little bit. Here we go.
The planets.
The planet song.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Then are our planets.
Mercury, Venus, Earth,
And
Mars,
they're being
Jupiter,
said in
Saturn,
order.
Uranus, Neptune. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
This is weird. Right under? What's happening?
What that is just a list of our planets.
Which is the Mine's Mercury. One's by you. Which yours? It's right by us. I thought
What happened to Pluto? Hunter.
They decided it wasn't a planet because it's too far away from the sun.
And they called it a dude.
Dwarf.
Okay.
Close. Dwarf. It's a dwarf planet. And what they're saying by dwarf planet is,
It's
like
not
the
a
Earth.
real
You
planet.
have to use your hands. What they're saying by a dwarf planet, they're not saying it's not a real planet, but they're saying that it has things around it that are basically could be the same size of it, so it's not cleared its neighborhood and things like that. Like Earth has only one moon, right? And that's what only goes around the Earth. I am going to draw a
Mercury.
What do you got, Candace?
Neptune is the farthest. Hunter, James, what's yours? Dude, it's awesome. It's like an iron blaster.
You all have a
Earth?
planet, don't you?
Yeah, but
And here is a handout,
what's canvases?
and we're gonna have maybe our crayons even for this one. Now, I'm going to put up the sun up there,
Then we put a
and then I want you to bring up your planet and put it in order. All right. So I'm going to start with the sun here.
Cool. Sun is big.
I was gonna say something about the sun. If I can find a little bit of a reference, what they will show, what they were talking about Earth to the suns, how big it is. What I read last night was, you see the doorway?
Yeah.
The size of the doorway?
Yeah.
Imagine that being the sun.
That would
Okay.
be big. Just as big. That would be
Listen. The Earth is this nickel that I have in my hand. That's the representation of how big the sun is to the Earth. Okay? The Earth is the size of a nickel compared to the doorway. That's how big the sun is. It's huge. It's enormous. Okay?
I guess.
So who has the first planet? Who has the first planet? Who has the first planet? Which one is it?
Mercury?
Who has Mercury?
Hunter?
Bring Mercury up. Let's put it. Where does it go? Does it go on top? No? Right there. That's the closest one to the sun, isn't it? Now,
Venus.
is Mercury going to be hot or very cold?
Very hot.
Very hot.
Because it's the closest to
It's
the
the
sun.
closest to the sun. That's
We won't
exactly right.
want to be that close. We're gonna burn up.
What's the next one?
Venus.
Venus. Who has Venus?
We'll be like toasted.
You have Venus? Look at Venus there.
Behind
You have Venus. And it goes right on out there. Which one's next?
Jupiter.
Who's got Jupiter?
No one. What? Maybe. Caden. Caden. Let's check it out. Caden.
Oh, look at this one.
That's Jupiter. That's which.
You had Jupiter.
I have Jupiter.
You never tried to look and see if it's
No. Comparable to the sun, but it's not even close to the size of the sun.
what's the biggest planet.
What is the biggest planet? Jupiter is the biggest planet.
What's bigger than the sun?
It's not bigger than the sun. No.
Look
No.
back there.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that up next. That's what I'm going to bring up.
Why
Because
is
you
it
can
a
see it.
green Saturn?
What's the next one?
Saturn.
Shut up. Saturn.
I knew it was Saturn.
Now let's look at Saturn. This has a pretty good picture of Saturn. What are the things that's going around and around Saturn? They call them the Saturn rings. But what do you think that is? You think that's just light?
Milky Way or something.
Candace.
It's kind of like a whirlpool.
They're kind of like a whirlpool.
It's going around in
What's the
circles.
same thing that goes around the Earth?
Also.
What's the same thing that goes around the Earth? What goes around the Earth? We spin around the sun. We orbit around the sun. But what goes around the Earth and changes every 27 days?
The cross.
The moon.
The moon!
I was
It's the
going to say the
moon.
moon.
Yeah, it's the moon.
I was trying to think of it.
These are similar to the Earth's moon, but this is just actually ice and rock that is caught in an orbit that is causing it to go around
Okay.
Saturn.
Well, we still have one more planet.
We do? We have one more?
Neptune. Neptune.
What's next, though? What's next? Let's look at our thing. What's next? Is Neptune next? Let's go look at our thing. Where are we at? We have Jupiter. We have Saturn. What's that one? Uranus. Uranus. Oh, there, Caden's got it. Uranus.
Uranus is right all
That's the next one. What's it?
Saturn.
Right there beside Saturn.
Then Uranus.
I'm shocked.
Okay. We still have one more
We
planet.
have one more.
There are two
Best
more.
for last, right?
There are two more. Oh, wait, no.
Neptune.
Two more.
Neptune.
Yeah, two more. We forgot this.
What one is that one? Remember we talked about it?
Pluto.
Get with your stick. Here, I'll split you.
Can I do Pluto?
The smallest
I
planet.
have Pluto.
Can
And
I
what
One,
did we?
please. You have three.
And what did we talk about this one being? Was it a planet?
No, it's more planet.
They've actually changed. They've actually changed
I
what they're
want
calling
to
it.
go there. Or everything would freeze there. The blue one and that one would freeze anything.
All right.
Mercury,
Hang on.
Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn,
Uranus,
Uranus, Neptune,
Neptune,
Pluto.
Pluto. So remember that saying that I did the other day? It
No.
says, my very elderly mother just sat upon Ned, right? Because we didn't talk about
Why did
Pluto.
you say that?
Because if you look at the first of the letters, it's an easy way to remember the planets. Mars, Mercury, Earth,
What about sun?
Mercury, Mars. We don't remember. Why do we not put the sun in there? Is it a planet?
No.
It's a star.
It is a star. Why is it a star?
It makes its own light.
That's right. It makes its own light.
The S is for Saturn, not the sun.
Right. S is for Saturn. Sat, Uranus, upon, Ned, which is Neptune. So that's the. Yeah, I've got Pluto here. He's with me. He's gonna stay with me today.
He's a baby.
Yeah. But we don't really don't remember Pluto because they've changed it.
Pretend he's
Okay.
the alien Pluto.
But there's the sun,
Pluto.
and it is making chemical reactions to make. What does the sun make? Makes two things. Okay, what's one?
Light.
And what's the other? Heat. Heat and light. Mercury, hot or cold? Hunter.
Very hot.
Earth, hot or cold?
Both.
Just right, isn't it? Just right.
It's both.
It's both. It's just right.
Yeah.
How about?
It's like
Hey,
it's
that's a planet.
These are the planets.
and the sun.
And it has what out here clear at the end. So
Pluto.
let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5,
6, 7, 8.
9.
But actually, we only have 8 if we don't count Pluto. This was before they decided it was a dwarf planet.
That's the sun.
See how big the sun is?
Yes. What's
See how
inside?
small. Hi, this is Darwin Bray. This is my reflection over my differentiated instruction. The way I did mine, I did it over a science lesson, and I brought the students up to visualize placing the planets in order from Mercury to Neptune, bringing each of them up to the board. I thought that was really good. Probably the one thing that I would probably change when I begin doing this at the lower ages, the lower levels, is I probably wouldn't give them the props, the information of placing it until I wanted them to come up, because it seems like that just caused a little headache or a hectic thing for them, because they just kept playing with them and showing their other friends what they had or whatever. I was very surprised. Even though this was a first grade level classroom, the first thing I viewed was a video of just a YouTube video of the planets and how it was singing and things. They were very in tune to that. I can see how I can probably incorporate music into more of my teaching lessons to maybe even hook them even better that way. So I thought that was one good way. And then because of the video's length and everything, I actually did bring in another reference of the sun to the Earth's planets and size and things like that. They had a visual of the planets spinning around the sun, how far away the sun, Neptune, and this is the old one which had Pluto in it. But it was kind of funny that some of the students, even being first grade, knew that Pluto was a planet, but they still wanted to call it a planet, even though they now call it a dwarf planet. So it's kind of fun to actually talk to the students about them kind of things. I think this was really good. I can see how some students really feed off of this kind of information and learn very well from it. There were some other students that weren't so involved in coming up and wanting to be included into the reflection or the differentiated instruction. They felt like they got it from just speaking and reading it from the text. But there was a couple other ones that really ate up the idea of this kind of thing. So I really liked how this worked. I think there's probably some more differentiated instruction that I can probably incorporate. Again, makes what difference of what level I will be beginning my teaching at. At kindergarten, first grade, I think getting some of the differentiated instruction, hands-on in activities involved, they really like that stuff. They're not much of a reading from the textbook type of students anyway. So I think I will for sure understand that this is probably a better way of including information for students. So I just feel like I've learned so much by doing this and doing this lesson that it has probably opened my different way of teaching and how I can do things. Even though I only have 6 in this class, I didn't really do it as an individual. I did it kind of more of a small group and things like that. So this is just how the class has, and it rolls along. So I really didn't break them up any more smaller classes, just because some of the intricacies that the class has, with a few of the students being cousins and other things like that. So it's hard to break them up and get them to work well together, like even in center projects and stuff. So this worked pretty well, bringing them up and doing them kind of things. So overall,